Neodyne Industries, we have successfully completed a global network consisting of 64 satellites. The project is named Starline Network. This is a monumental achievement.
Hey, Mike.
Starline will unite the world.
I don't think so. The Starline Network is a mere front for a plan to launch a nuclear satellite into space. VSSE has dispatched 2 agents to prevent the launch. Keith Martin, Robert Baxter,
There's some news.
Christy Ryan,
He's still alive.
Wild Dog,
It's almost ready. My dream will soon come true.
Ernesto Diaz, Time Crisis 2.
Your project is going down in flames. They'll be here soon.
Time Crisis 2.
Okay, hello and welcome to another episode of Arcade Assault on a whatchamacallit, on-rails shooter, and today we're going to be playing Time Crisis 2. So let's just get right on into it. I'm going to be playing on the highest difficulty, starting with the 4 default lives. I have done a couple of runs in advance, so if I wanted to, I could play with, having the machine gun available or anything. But we aren't going to do that. We are just going to go with the default, and just want to make sure of that. So let's get right on into the story mode. And I will be back just as soon as these opening cutscenes are done, because, yeah, we'll be just right into the game after that.
It's me, Christy. I found some data about the satellite network. Haven't the agents left yet?
Keith and Robert are on their way. No one can beat them.
Keith and Robert?
Well, well, it appears we have a guest. Looks like we've caught you just in time. A leak like this would have been problematic, to say the least.
A punch like that, and you think you're gonna conquer the world?
Silence! You have no idea how perfect our plan is. Now take her away. What the...
Okay, so, to address the elephant in the room straight away, instead of playing on the mouse for the gun con, unlike I did with Time Crisis 1, I am playing this on a controller. So basically, I could get the mouse to work in place of the GunCon 2. However, it did have all of the white flashes and I couldn't find a way to disable those. So I decided that it would be more practical for me to just play using a controller. I know that it isn't exactly the preferred way to enjoy these games. However, I will say that I do think there's a couple of positives for playing this on a controller. So basically, what I lose in whatchamacallit, I do lose, the ability to aim a bit. Basically, in terms of aim and precision, I lose a bit. But in terms of potential damage output, I actually get a massive boost. Because I can just empty like all 9 shots just in an instant, basically. So, yeah, that proves to be pretty helpful. Especially when it comes to just, hitting a guy multiple times to get a bunch of points. I mean, I say that at the same time, I know for a fact I'm not going to get a super high score. I have done a couple of practice runs of this. Also, fun fact, well, this game is basically, this game, I have done this a few times, and I have had it be just a couple of different routes, so I think it is slightly randomized each time which route you take. Like, sometimes you'll go on the player 2 side, sometimes you'll go on the player 1 side. And unlike in Time Crisis 3, where it's like every time you play player one side, you'll always have a set route, and then you'll also have another set one for the player two side. But in this one, you seem to kind of diverge and go across it just randomly. I don't really know how it works. I think that is kind of nice for it, though. So, you know, not... I want to say no two playthroughs are the same, but, like, you know, you have a bit more variation. Also, I should note, I am playing the PlayStation 2 version of this. Yes. Also, we just saw of a Crisis Flash there. The Crisis Flash was a gameplay mechanic introduced in Time Crisis 2, and I'm very glad that it is one that exists. Basically, the Crisis Flash is when you see the enemies shoot and they have like a red pulse come off of them, that kind of indicates like, hey, get into cover. The next shot will do damage if it hits you. As opposed to all the yellow shots, which are kind of just... I don't want to say they're warning shots, but in terms of practicality, that's basically what they are. On the plus side, also because we are now playing a game that has two characters, so you can play this game in co-op, obviously, it's probably best enjoyed in co-op. However, if I shoot my teammate, I will take it. If you shoot your teammate, you will take a penalty of 1,000 points. And, yeah, so let's avoid doing that if we can. Also, we are most of the way through the first level already, by the way. Like, we are pretty close to the end of Area 2 of the first stage. To be totally honest, this entire game is really short. Like, Time Crisis 1 and 2, I think you can beat them in, like, 15-20 minutes each. I think my record time on this is, like, 16.5 of 17 minutes or something. Like, you can get through this game very quickly, and I'm not exactly, like, I am never exactly putting on a masterclass on how to play Time Crisis 2, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, to be totally honest, when have I ever put on a masterclass of playing any game? Also, that guy really just kind of runs out, throws the SMG down. It's like, if he just tried to shoot at us, it would probably be more beneficial to him. And also, so far this is actually going really well, because I haven't gotten hit yet. And honestly, that is pretty good for me, not gonna lie. Because usually I have gotten hit at least once by now. And we are about... That was extremely close. But with that, we're going to be heading on into Area 3 of the first stage, and there is another cutscene.
So, who are those two? Where's the girl?
They took her to General Diaz, sir.
We gotta stop them now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, also, if you are someone who gets motion sickness, I would maybe advise possibly looking away for the next couple of minutes, because, this speedboat section is pretty bad. I don't know how motion sickness really works, but it really does kind of, yeah, it's basically where all of my bullet accuracy just goes to die, I suppose, because I lose all accuracy. Because you're kind of, like, swerving all over the place with a lot of it. It's a really cool section. I'm just really bad at it, and I feel like it might be a bit of a motion issue. On the plus side, playing on the controller does mean it kind of tracks a little bit better. Like, you get a bit of tracking to some of your shots, so it kind of works. Also, these fish guys, I think they're actually referred to as frogmen, but whatever. And obviously, I just need to be careful, because otherwise they would just hit me, and, you know, I don't really want to take damage if I can. Oh, also, I should note, this level's boss, also, I think he's called, like, Jacob Kaniski or something. Also, 10 out of 10. That guy has, like, some of possibly the worst voice acting I've ever heard. Like, I know we give, like, whatchamacallit, House of the Dead 2 is legendary for its atrocious voice acting. This guy, I think he might be as bad as, if not worse than Goldman in that game. Although at the same time, he's very... at the same time, though, it is a kind of so bad it's funny type, so I'm okay with it. And I am also really bad at hitting this guy, apparently. However, I think I only need to hit him like one more time and he's down, so... Man, I nearly had a perfect first level. it'd be great if I could actually hit the guy. Also, my bullet accuracy is probably just has probably just plummeted because of that. But with that, the first level is done. Also, you may have noticed, the boat he was on is actually the one that is in shot when Christy jumps off the crane in the opening cutscene. Fun fact.
I knew it. These maniacs have got the military satellite. And they're moving it by train.
We better get going. There's no time to lose.
They have the attaché case. They're on to you.
That fool Yakov! How dare he fail? Hurry it up!
Yes, sir. Look over there.
Let's go!
Okay, so, also, while Time Crisis 1 was strictly single-player, basically, even if you're playing by yourself in this one, and in all the subsequent games, you will always have a partner with you. However, I do quite like how the series gave itself a kind of narrative out and explanation as to why that is. Basically, the game explains, well, the series later explains, is that Richard Miller, the protagonist of the first game, is the only VSSE agent who is, like, given clearance to do operations alone. Probably because he's just that good. I guess he's, like, I guess slightly weird comparison, but I guess he's, like, the Solid Snake of the Time Crisis universe. I don't know if Time Crisis takes place in a different universe to, like, a lot of other Namco games. I don't know if they're in, like, one shared universe. I don't know how that works, and honestly, I'm not going to think about it, because the idea of Time Crisis happening just... You know, the idea of Time Crisis is happening in one place, and then just Tekken's happening, like, 5 minutes down the road is kind of funny, but at the same time, is a little bit goofy. Also, I don't know how long I can actually stay there without getting hit. Also, 10 out of 10. As always, we want to avoid getting hit by rockets, because that would be a bad thing to get hit by. Also, I don't know what whatchamacallit, I don't know what my high score is. I think my highest high score is like 700,000. So far, I'm not feeling particularly confident about getting past that, but you know what? That's okay. To be honest, I do think that maybe trying to hit some of these people through some thin walls and stuff is a little bit of a pain. But at the same time, I can't really be complaining, because, you know, they are meant to be... I think they're also meant to be people that the AI partner is supposed to hit, or, you know, realistically, a second player is. But you know what? I've only taken 2 hits so far, so I'm pretty content with that. Also, 10 out of 10, you just shoot that... You shoot that enough, and it just bricks, destroys the thing, kills all the enemies, and you also get a whole bunch of points. And I don't know how many enemies are left, so I'm just going to blow up that, because that finishes all of them off, and we are now onto Area 2 of Stage 2, which is a really cool train chase. And as we all know, cool train chases are always a fun section in basically any game. I'm trying to think of a section in a game that's been on a train that just hasn't been enjoyable. And off the top of my head, I can't really think of one. I'm sure that there's probably some like, statistically, there has to be at least one really bad one. Because there's been enough games that just have them, that surely there has to be some terrible ones out there. But, like, well, this ain't one of them. This is a really cool bit. Because now we have second train passing, and there is the level boss just shooting at us real quick. We will be getting I would say we'd be getting acquainted with him in the near future, but honestly, his boss fight is hilariously short. We will not see him. We will not be seeing that guy for a particularly long time. But I will explain about what his deal is in just a minute. Well, I say just a minute, probably like a minute and a half too, when we actually get to him. And this is a really cool bit, because now you have to actually pay attention and kind of pop back into cover every now and then to not hit. I don't remember what those are called, and I got hit, but you know what? At this rate, I'm going to probably be, you know, if nothing else, I'm near the end of the second level on, you know, one continue. So, okay, that is my first continue. Also, I have played enough of this to have free play mode unlocked, so I do have infinite continues. I'm not too worried about it. And also, this upcoming boss fight is a perfect reason. Also, that guy just pops up. So this guy and this kind of cannon and the entire boss fight are kind of just great examples for, you know, whatchamacallit, I've lost my train of thought and words, is a great bit to actually play on a controller, because you can just kind of just do a stupid amount of damage really fast. Like, you can absolutely annihilate this next boss fight. I mean, I say that, I don't know what a speedrun strategy looks like for Time Crisis, but whatever. Anyway, now we get introduced to the level boss.
Nice try, boys. But my job's to protect this satellite. It's time for you to say goodbye.
Okay, so this is the level boss. This guy is, I kid you not, named Buff Bryant. That's literally his name. And he is by far the easiest boss fight in the game. Also, you can just unload into him and get a ton of points and a ton of damage. And now he's going to start swinging around missiles like they're nothing, because I guess he is... I mean, I guess it makes perfect sense for him to be, like, the big, strong guy of the group. And, he's now going to just swing the thing. And with that, he now just hops up onto his chopper with the minigun again. And we are near the end of this boss fight already. However, I don't know how many more hits I need to get on him, but we are definitely near the end of this stage. However, just like with the previous level, I feel like hitting the boss in this stage can be a bit of a pain. But with that, stage 2 is complete. And with that chopper explodes, and we are on our way to the final stage. We beat that area in less than a minute and got nearly 20,000 bonus points for it, so that's pretty nice.
Did you get him?
I don't know what Keith and Robert were, like, holding on to there to not fall, but I'm not going to question it. I'm going to put it down to action movie logic and game logic paired together.
My dream is just about complete, and the world will be mine.
Your project is going down in flames. They'll be here soon.
I'm expecting them. Why do you think I kept you alive?
General Diaz, we've got trouble.
So soon? Wild dog, it's time.
Yes, sir.
Time Crisis protagonists and just destroying their knees. An iconic duo. Me and getting hit instantly. Also an iconic duo. But yeah, I will say, I know that the voice acting probably isn't a priority when you're making an on-rails shooter in the late 1990s, but I do genuinely think that Christy is pretty well voice acted in this game. Also, I will say one thing that I think is a little bit strange. I know it's, you know, for the attract mode, you know, to make you want to play it in the arcade, but I feel like it really kind of awkwardly lingers on our face after after she says, they'll be here soon, before it cuts to the title screen. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit weird. And I missed the guy in yellow. I missed the guy in yellow who was running by in the background there. If I'd hit him, I would have gotten another 5,000 bonus points. But on the plus side, we are kind of just blazing through this. And we are near the end of the game. Like, we are about to encounter the, whatchamacallit. Like, we are very close to the appearance of Wild Dog. Like, at the end. So I think we fight, like, I don't know, like, a few more kind of screens of guys, and then we are over there. Okay, that should be it. There we go. Fantastic. Also, I don't think the series ever explains why Wild Dog, like, between Time Crisis 1 and 2, suddenly, like, lost a regular human arm and gained like, a minigun, chain gun arm. Honestly, I'm not going to question it, because it's cool. I mean, to be fair, in Time Crisis 3, it also has, like, rocket launchers and a flamethrower, so, you know what? I'm not going to question it, but solely... Like, I'm not going to question it for the sole reason of, it's cool, you know? And we are kind of blazing through this. I mean, obviously, being able to just kind of mash through to just unload damage is always going to be very beneficial for this. So, I'm actually going to try to dial back on that. Because I feel like it is a bit unfair.
Wild Dog, why is it taking you so much time to get rid of them? All right, I'll take care of this myself.
Okay, so I forgot to actually explain, like, kind of what the story is here. Basically, if I'm understanding it correctly, basically Neodyne Industries, which is Diaz's company, have created the Starline Network, which is a network of 64 satellites. And basically, yeah, pretty much they are going to launch a nuclear satellite. And I don't remember. I think it's because, obviously, you know, bad guy wants world domination. But I know, I remember here, I don't remember if it's so he can have world domination, or if he's, like, going to try to, like, sell it off to the highest bidder, or what. And that was a very avoidable shot that I just took there. But hey, we are actually doing pretty comfortably here. Also, I know I said it was a bit unfair and it felt like cheating, but you know what, after that one helicopter in Time Crisis 1, I'm not going to feel bad about that one specifically. But with that, we are just about done with this fight, because Wild Dog will jump over here, and with that, this fight is over. Got him.
VSSE, you fools.
Okay, so now we get to play a mini game, basically, where we now have to hit Diaz, but we also have to be careful because he does have Christie hostage. And if you shoot Christie by accident, you don't lose 1,000 points, you lose 5,000 points. So, yeah, accidentally hitting her is a bit costly, especially if you're going for a high score. But at the same time, it's not too bad, actually. I've never even seen that angle before. Oh, that was pretty close, not gonna lie. But this is looking pretty comfortable so far. I feel like I'm definitely not going to hit my, like, all-time high score here, but I'm not too worried about that. As long as I beat the game, I feel like I'm okay. Mostly because I'm less worried about that, and also just the fact that, like, hey, I'm currently on track to beat this game in, like, 2 continues, which is pretty nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm okay. Get Diaz. He's about to launch a nuclear satellite.
satellite's still there.
This is just a prototype. We're ready to launch the real one. You are like roaches. I underestimated your persistence. This is not a real satellite. Anyway, let me entertain you.
Bro really did jump up that high. So, basically, this is the final boss fight, and while yes, we are technically fighting Diaz, realistically, the boss is the satellite. Like, the boss is the satellite itself, but I am going to I'm not just going to mash my way through, because I do feel like that would be maybe a little bit cheating. But hey, who knows? Either way, I mean, realistically, the end result is the same. Like, the end result is exactly the same. Like, I just shoot a whole bunch. But yeah, this is technically an advantage. Being able to do it like this is an advantage that you actually get from playing on controller. Because obviously being able to just hit the trigger 9 times, yeah, you can, you know, pretty reasonably do that at a pretty fast pace. But at the same time, I'm doing this on a controller where square, triangle, circle, and X are all shoot. Yeah, it kind of lets you do a lot. Also, I don't know when it is I'm supposed to hit Diaz. I think it's now, actually. There we go, done. With that, Time Crisis 2 is complete. And he falls down into that rocket, and yeah, he ain't gonna be in Time Crisis 3, that's for certain. 660,110 points. Very nice and round number. So with that, Time Crisis 2 is complete. Honestly, I feel like it takes everything from Time Crisis 1 and just kind of improves it in every conceivable way. It looks better, it sounds better, it plays better. It's now co-op, which I love how it has a story reason for why it's a co-op game, and also it now, you know, encourages you to play it with friends and everything. It's great. Also, even if you're playing by yourself, it has the multiple little diverging paths, which while they might not change a massive amount about the game, it does add a nice little bit of replay value. I don't know if that was something that was always planned, or if it was just maybe a little bit of influence from House of the Dead kicking in, but either way, Time Crisis 2 is still fantastic, and I would recommend it. Well, I would recommend it either its home version on the PS2, or if you see it in an arcade, I would absolutely still recommend it. It is a great game. Also, originally came out in arcades in 1998, apparently. That is absolutely insane. So yeah, cannot recommend Time Crisis 2 enough. It is fantastic. And we got 17 minutes 41, 73.1% accuracy. That's not bad. Like, that's actually really good. That's way higher than I was expecting. Also, in case you're wondering why this end narration maybe sounds a little bit disjuncted, yeah, this is being recorded separately because I finished the game, and then just didn't record any narration over the ending, so I feel really stupid now. But hey, we can now put Time Crisis 2 in next to Time Crisis 1 to see how we did. And I think it was like 2 continues and 73% accuracy. That is pretty good. But with that, I'm going to end off today's episode here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any buttons down below if you feel so inclined. And I will hopefully see you all next time for whatever it is I'm doing next. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.